There's a lot of diversity in the speakers that are going to be here this next couple of days. The next speaker is a friend of mine who flew here from Israel, who did something incredible and had no idea the unintended consequences of what happened. It's Alon Nir is his name, and he's an economist by training, but he had a crazy idea, or not so crazy idea, to set up a service for people who anywhere in the world, from any denomination, to tweet a prayer through Twitter to him, and he energized a bunch of people to take their prayers, roll them on small pieces of paper, and stick them into the Kotel, the Western Wall in Jerusalem. And by doing so, he's provided a way for people to connect their prayers and really use these platforms in ways that are very touching and very, very meaningful for some. And it's affecting many people all over the place, and he's just an incredible human being. Please give it up, a loud welcome to my friend Alon. Please, Alon, come on out.
Good morning. I'm very happy to be here this morning. The atmosphere is great. We are in the business capital of the world. There are many great people here doing some incredible stuff, many entrepreneurs doing really interesting stuff like Lisa and AJ, who spoke earlier. I myself am coming from the so-called startup nation, Israel. And today I'd like to show you my operation online, which I fondly refer to as the anti-startup. And I'll show you what I mean as we go along. So basically, the anti-startup has a few principles, the first of which is go to market without a product, figure things out later. So this is the Western Wall in Jerusalem. And as Jeff said, it is customary to leave notes with prayers written on them in the crevices of the wall because it is believed that there is greater divine presence there than anywhere else on earth. So I thought it would be cool if there was a Twitter page for the Western Wall, so I set one up. And people can tweet their prayers, and I take those prayers, print them, and place them in the wall. Now, when I started this operation, I had low expectations, so I didn't have anything set up. I did not have a product, just a Twitter page. And I did everything manually. I just copy-pasted the dozen or so prayers that came in every day, and then printed them and placed them in the wall. However, only 2 weeks after I launched the service, the media picked up the story. So there I was on CNN, and the New York Times, and BBC, Fox News, France 2, Reuters, and lest we forget, Romanian TV. And as you can assume, as you can expect, this led... Sorry? Not yet. Maybe in the future. So as you can expect, this brought in like a boom, thousands and thousands of new followers, thousands of new prayers waiting to be processed, and I was overwhelmed. I was consumed with joy because as I said, everything was done manually, and there were about 3,000 prayers that needed to be processed, and there was no way I'm going to copy-paste each and every one individually. So I was overwhelmed, and I turned to Twitter for help and said, I shared my feeling. I said that, you know what, I'm overwhelmed. And I got a few replies. One of them was, God will not give you more than you can handle. And guess what happened next? Twitter suspended my account twice. Okay? The thing is that I got so much traffic, so many followers and prayers coming in such a short period of time that Twitter just assumed that I'm a spammer. And they suspended my account, and that was actually a blessing in disguise because you know, it put a stop to all of the prayers coming in. And eventually, at the end of the day, I was left with about 3,000 prayers that needed to be processed. So even though it was a lot, I was determined to make it happen. So once again, I turned to Twitter for help and tweeted that, you know what, I need help. And the thing is that when people see a cause they believe in, that they think it is worthy, then they're happy and eager even to step up and help. So first of all, my brother, who lived far away, read my tweet, and he whipped up a quick script that takes all the prayers from Twitter and dumps them in a very easy-to-print format, which I print with my amazing LaserJet Prayer Printer Ultimate, which is a printer model I completely made up. So after that, I was left with a stack of papers with 3,000 prayers on them, and you know, they all had to be cut and rolled to be placed at the wall, in the wall. So once again, I turned to Twitter and said, hey, I've got 3,000 prayers that need to be cut and rolled individually. Who wants to help? Now, this girl, Shirley, said, cool, I'll do it. And I didn't know her before. But she said, come on over, and I did. And not only did we do that, so you can also see in the top right corner, you can see a knee, and that's her friend, Rotem, that, she saw what we were doing, and she said, cool, this is a war of the gods, let me help. And within just a few hours, we had all of the prayers cut and rolled. Now, next, I needed help at the Western Wall itself, because believe it or not, it's kind of hard to stick in 3,000 pieces of paper. So again, I tweeted about it, and this guy on the right stepped up and said, I'll help you out, and he did. And moreover, he also said that he is an elementary school teacher in Jerusalem, and he suggested that he would dedicate an hour a week from his pupils' time and kind of make them process the prayers for me. So basically, what he suggested, and unfortunately it never came to be, he suggested to set up a prayer sweatshop in Jerusalem. So anyway, long story short, we made it happen. And nowadays, things have been running smoothly. I have even automated the process with the help of my father. Together, we built the world's first automatic prayer spooler. And we had some problems with the video before, so I'm going to hope it's working now. So let's see it in action. Hold on. This is my prayer. Thanks. And thanks to my father. So one more example about how eager people are to help when they see a good cause is the iPhone app. So now we have an iPhone app after I gave a talk in Tel Aviv at the 140 conference there. And Yori, a guy in the audience, approached me and said, what you're doing is cool. I developed for iPhone. Let's make an app. So we did. And by the way, this bird is not at all angry. And the next thing is that I thought, you know what? I'm all about facilitating prayer, making it easier for people to send their prayers. So why don't we translate the app to different languages? So I asked around on Twitter who wants to translate this app from English to their native tongue. And within days later, we had the app translated to about 10 different languages. Some of them were not even officially supported by Apple back then. So one more thing about the app is that I found out that I ran some analytics and found out that only about 60% of the people who installed the app actually used it to send a prayer. And I was curious as to why, so I started asking around and got all sorts of replies like, oh, I don't want to bother God with every little thing, but it's comforting to know I have the option if I really need to. And I got replies to that nature. And basically, this leads us to anti-startup principle number 2, which is users don't necessarily have to use your product, okay? Forget about traction. And the third one is users don't have to use your product, outsource to competitors. Now, as you may imagine, after I got all of this media attention, there were quite a few. There have been dozens and dozens of new prayer conveying services online. And I welcome them because I am not charging for the service. And since I'm not charging, if they want to so-called compete with me, they have to give away their product for free as well. So basically, taking the prayers to the Western Wall is a burden on me. And they're doing it for me, for free. And that's awesome. And number 4 is, who needs a business plan? Just don't monetize. Now, I am not in the business of prayers, and I don't want to be in this business of prayers. I want to keep the service free forever. I'm an economist, as Jeff said. I teach at Tel Aviv University. And besides, if I wanted to monetize this operation, I wouldn't charge for prayers. I would just strike a collaboration with Microsoft. Now, we all know and love this error message, right? You can either end now or cancel. Now, what about a third option? I would make millions. So here we go to the last anti-starter principle, number 5, and it's the most important one, and it is to create meaning and affect change. So basically, what I found out is that merely sending a prayer to the Western Wall can have a huge impact on people's lives. Just knowing that their prayer is in there, or even their name is in the wall, gives them a boost of confidence, a boost of energy, and helps them to tackle whatever it is in their lives that needs to be changed, and even affect change on their community, on their surroundings. So I'm going to share a few testimonials I got with you. You have to bear with me. I know that I speak perfect accent with just a little bit of English, but still. So these are John and Eliana, which are good friends and lovely people, and they want to have a child, but they couldn't for a long time. And anyway, they sent a prayer, and yada, yada, yada. 9 months later, yeah, that's the awe factor. And the next one is, I'm not particularly remarkable in any way, nor have I done anything that is noteworthy. The prayer you put for me was answered. Maybe there's a place for me in this world after all. That's just one example of the effect this service has on people. I'm going to skip through some of these. You can find them online at my website. So here's another one. Significant personal losses have caused me to question my faith and wonder if God is there or if He cares for me. The work you do resonated with me and has begun to rekindle my faith. Thank you for this gift. So I'm going to skip all of these. Sorry. And get to the last one. And basically, I found out that there is a paid-forward effect here. People who use my service or are aware of it paid forward in their community, in their surroundings. And as I finish my talk, I just want to say that it's okay. It's okay to do a for-profit organization, and you can forget about principles 1 to 4, but please, but please think about principle number 5 and try to incorporate elements into your operation which would help create meaning and affect change with your users. Thank you very much.